India in suspense, 3 days to go. Government signals relaxations ahead. Modi to address India by the 3rd of May. More relaxed lockdown 3.0 taking shape. After 38 days of national lockdown, 1.3 billion await announcements. What you should and should not expect. Maximum inputs ahead of May the 3rd. India Today's fact-based preview. Only 3 days left for the current lockdown to expire. India is in huge suspense over what life is going to be like after the 3rd of May. And intrigue has been pushed even further after a tweet last night by the Home Ministry spokesperson. Here's what the Home Ministry spokesperson said at 8:48 p.m. yesterday. New guidelines to fight COVID-19 will come into effect from the 4th of May, which will give considerable relaxations to many districts. Details regarding this shall be communicated in the days to come, unquote. So this basically says that we will be making announcements. The Home Ministry will be making announcements. Well, India, as you know, has been in lockdown now for 38 days. And while relaxations have already kicked in several green zones in the country, courtesy the individual states, the Home Ministry's message indicates that the centre is about to announce pan-Indian relaxations for the country's green zones, which are spread across several districts of the country. The anticipated relaxations are expected to be announced for 363 districts that are designated green zones. As you can see in this map, these are zones which have no COVID-19 cases, with a smaller number of controlled relaxations likely in the 177 orange districts, the orange zones, and the red zone districts could see a full lockdown extension with no relaxations whatsoever. While it remains to be seen if Prime Minister Modi will actually address the nation for the 5th time on what India will be like after the 3rd of May, there are ground indications already of what these relaxations could actually be and what we should reasonably expect to be declared within the next 48 to 72 hours. Whether it is the Prime Minister himself or whether it is the Home Ministry directly, we'll have to wait and see what those could actually be. So let's now take you through what we can reasonably, we're taking an educated guess based on the information we already have on what the big relaxations are likely to be. Remember, there are already some relaxations in green zones, especially in places like Karnataka, West Bengal, etc. But this is what we could reasonably expect. Number one, major relaxations, like I said, in those 363 green districts of the country. We understand that standalone shops will be allowed to open as per their own timings. Non-essentials shops, that's shops selling things apart from essential commodities, can open, but probably for a limited time. And there will be, this is good news for people in green zones, controlled public transport could also be announced. So the ban on public transport may be lifted in the green zones, but in a controlled manner, possibly with some timings. There could be some controlled interstate travel. If there are different districts which are together in green zones, if they are across state boundaries, there could be considerations as far as interstate travel for people as well. I want to go across to our National Affairs Editor Rahul Srivastava for more clarity. Rahul, it's definite now that relaxations are going to be announced by the Home Ministry. Is the Prime Minister going to be addressing the nation, Rahul? And also, is there any further signal from the government on what the relaxations are likely to be after the 3rd of May?
Shiv, last time around when the lockdown period was ending and there was the word that there might be an extension, right after the meets with the Chief Minister, there was one very clear element that the Prime Minister may be making an announcement. Though no clarity on timing was there, but yes, it was expected that closer to the end of the deadline of 14th April, the Prime Minister may address. This time around, Shiv, till now there is no buzz in the government about the Prime Minister addressing. So that's one point which one notes. One does not want to anticipate the mind of the Prime Minister or the government. But there is no buzz at all on when the Prime Minister may speak. None of the leaders has told me that it is a likelihood that he may speak on this day or at this time.
Right.
The second element, one is wondering. Some leaders are talking about in the government is that tomorrow is Labor Day, and at a time when India faces a huge migrant labor and poor laborer crisis, those who are turning into the disadvantaged category in the country. Will the Prime Minister and the government make some move? There is again no clarity still on it.
Okay.
The Prime Minister has usually chosen Saturdays and weekends to make the announcement, perhaps to give the administration certain amount of time to prepare for the opening up or restrictions to be put in place.
Yes.
But one picture which is very clearly emerging, Shiv, is that this is going to be a very federal kind of a step after life after May 3rd.
Absolutely.
Federal, I say, because it is the state seem to be driving the very idea of a lockdown ahead. Some states have already extended their lockdown beyond the May 3rd period. There is a buzz that 16th of May is being seen as some kind of a benchmark figure in which one is saying that there could be a flattening of the curve consistently visible, and that could be the time. Yes, it is possible the Home Ministry may come out with very sub-level of restriction opening. One element, trains, there is still a question mark. While Chief Ministers are saying that you bring back our workers, that will need trains, and I think that's another element the Home Ministry will be looking at.
Okay, so the one thing we can be sure of is that the Home Ministry is going to have to announce what these relaxations are, because after that tweet last night, an announcement is imminent. It's just a matter of how it's going to come and when it's going to come and what is going to be in that announcement. We've given you an overview of what can be reasonably expected. Thank you very much, Rahul, for getting us those inputs. Well, a day after the lockdown was relaxed in 14 Karnataka districts yesterday, which we reported to you in detail on our show yesterday, the Karnataka government has now approved industrial activity resumption in the state. Very good news for Karnataka's economy. Industrial activity in the state will now begin all over the state after the 3rd of May. However, the areas that are marked as containment zones or hotspots will still not see such activity. The curbs will remain in force in those areas. The Yediyurappa government is also likely to allow one-time interstate transport for stranded migrants and others, as ordered by the Home Ministry. Remember, on Wednesday, relief from lockdown was given in state's 14 districts or green zones, allowing standalone shops and industrial activities to function. This is a look at the map of Karnataka with all of the different, the 14 districts of Karnataka which are declared green zones, which are now enjoying relaxations since yesterday. Shopping, people outside, travel within the districts as well, all being allowed in these green zone parts of Karnataka. Well, these of course include industrial activity in the non-containment zones, which will continue after the 3rd of May. Industry to run with minimum workforce. That is something that we're expecting to see kick in a bigger way in just 3 days from now. This is for the Karnataka. This is the blueprint as far as Karnataka's green zones are concerned. Employees will get passes to operate, to get back to work. Sand mining in rural areas will be allowed, of course, once again only in the non-containment areas. Liquor shops, malls, pubs will remain shut till new guidelines are issued. We're told one-time interstate transport for migrants and students is being worked on, and Karnataka is likely to activate it very, very soon. One-time inter-district movement for civil works and civil workers is also being contemplated at this time. I want to quickly go across to India Today's Nagarjun Dwarkanath for more. Nagarjun, Karnataka, a state that's in many ways showing the way to the rest of the country in terms of this calibrated opening up. 14 districts of the state have already seen relaxations, and we're likely to see many more of those coming in and kicking in over the next 48 to 72 hours.
That is true. Karnataka government has been relaxing this lockdown in phased manner. First was the notification which said that shops can open in the green zone, and today industries can open, and once time interstate transportation can happen. Lakhs and lakhs of people who want to come back to Karnataka, who have their families back here, if they are working or studying outside Karnataka, will get a chance to move back to Karnataka, and they'll have to be quarantined when they reach, and also tests will be done at the border. And people who want to go out of Karnataka to other different states can go, is what the government has taken a decision today. And also one-time transportation will be provided for the laborers who wants to go within Karnataka, that is from one district to another district. Clearly, this is a sign that Karnataka is ready to lift the lockdown in phased manner post-May 3, but this sort of depends on what the government of India guidelines and what the Prime Minister says. It depends.
Thanks, Nagarjun, for getting us the latest on that. Karnataka taking those first steps, many other states taking those steps as well. We'll have to see how things dramatically change in the next few days. 3 days left for lockdown 2.0. Many of those relaxations will kick in. And I promise that we will get you the very latest here on India Today as soon as it comes in from the government. You can make no mistake of that. That's it on 5 Live. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up on the other side of this break is 6 p.m. Prime with Ankit Tyagi. We're going to talk about how Remdesivir drug is raising hopes in the fight against COVID-19. Don't miss that with Ankit next.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.